20 years. That's not a mistake. That's a lifestyle, a rhythm, a pattern, a carefully constructed architecture of choices made again and again until they no longer feel like choices at all. We got married young, the kind of young where love feels like destiny instead of decision. There were wedding photos with soft lighting and hopeful eyes, a tiny apartment with thin walls and mismatched furniture, dreams bigger than our bank account. Our first baby came while we were still figuring out how to be adults, then another. Nights without sleep, mornings fueled by cheap coffee and shared determination. He used to look at me like he had won something rare, something precious. I looked at him and saw safety, stability, a future that made sense. Love didn't disappear all at once. It thinned quietly. Conversations shortened. Touch became practical. Kisses turned into habit. Love slowly turned into silence. Silence turned into routine. Routine turned into marriage. The first time wasn't planned. It never is. An office party, too much wine, laughter that lingered longer than it should have. A conversation in a corner where the music was softer and the air felt charged. He asked questions my husband hadn't asked in years. Not about the kids or bills, but about me. Hands touched my waist, like I wasn't someone's wife, like I wasn't someone's mother, just a woman. On my way home, my heart pounded so loudly I was certain it would echo through the hallway. I stood outside our front door with keys shaking in my hand, expecting the universe to split open, expecting everything to collapse. He opened the door half asleep, pulled me close and said, "You're cold," pressing his face into my hair. And nothing exploded. The house stayed standing. The kids kept sleeping. My husband kept loving me. That was the moment I learned something dangerous. If you cross a line quietly enough, the world doesn't shake. The second time was easier. The third time barely felt like a crime. I learned how to live in two realities. In one, I made dinner, folded his shirts exactly the way he liked them, scheduled dentist appointments, sat beside him on the couch while we watched TV, our legs touching, our bodies familiar and predictable. In the other reality, there were hotel elevators with mirrored walls, deleted messages, private jokes that existed nowhere else, late-night texts that read, "I can't stop thinking about you." There were hands that explored me like I was new and eyes that devoured me like I was necessary. I wasn't looking for love. I was looking for a pulse, for hunger, for urgency, for the feeling that I was still visible and not just useful. The men changed. Some stayed for months. One stayed for years, learning the curve of my shoulder as if it belonged to him. One almost made me leave. I packed a mental suitcase, imagined apartments with different views, imagined honesty. But I never left. My marriage was the foundation, solid and dependable, socially admired. My affairs were the windows, letting in air, light, risk. The most dangerous part wasn't desire. It was confidence. A locked phone, a separate email, a calm voice, perfect timing. I could sit across from my husband at dinner hours after being in someone else's bed, hold eye contact, smile without trembling, and he would smile back. Years passed the way they do in stable families. We celebrated anniversaries, family vacations with sunburned children, and matching t-shirts, silver wedding photos with our grown children standing between us, proud of the love story they believed in. People call us couple goals. They ask for advice. He still kisses me goodnight. Sometimes I lie next to him in the dark and listen to him breathe, slow, peaceful, trusting, his arm resting loosely over my waist like it always has. In that silence, the truth feels like a third person in the room, breathing with us, watching. I imagine what would happen if he found out. Not screaming, not shattered plates or dramatic exits. That's not who he is. Just silence. The kind that doesn't argue. The kind that closes a door softly and never reopens it. But morning always comes. Coffee. News. Another normal day, and the secret folds itself neatly back into place. After 20 years, guilt doesn't scream anymore. It doesn't claw at my throat. It whispers. It lives in small moments, when he thanks me for being loyal, when he says he's lucky to have me, when he trusts me without hesitation. 20 years. I kept the marriage. I kept the family. I kept the secret. The only thing I lost was simplicity. Because when you live with a lie long enough, it stops being something you did. It becomes something you manage, then something you justify, then something you are. And the loudest part of the story isn't passion or betrayal. It's the silence of a man who never asks, and the silence of a woman who will never tell.